In Dreams, one of yesterday's heavyweights, one more time on the KRUX of Phoenix, where it's 9 minutes now before 9 o'clock. This hour presented to you by Wallach's Music City in Tower Plaza Mall. The man took 100 pounds of clay, and he said, hey, listen, I'm just going to mold this clay this way. And listen to what he turned out. He took 100 pounds of clay. Just took 100 pounds of clay, and then he said, hey, listen, Gene McDaniels one more time with yesterday's heavyweights. There is a group of 3 people. I believe there are 2 guys and 1 gal, or 2 gals and 1 guy, and I can't remember. But boy, back in the 50s, they turned out some records, and a lot of them were lovey songs like this one.
Well, I went and lost her to the great imposter. I stood and watched her fall.
They know they lost her to the great imposter. You remember the Fleetwoods and some of the great stuff they did years and years ago. That's the only song we're going to hear from the Fleetwoods tonight on yesterday's Heavyweights Part 1 one more time. But in the Part 2 and Part 3 shows, we're going to listen to more of the Fleetwoods music, because one of those is going to be kind of a love special, you know, where most of the songs are going to be real slow and real smoochy. This is One More Time. This is our first hour of yesterday's Heavyweights tonight, presented by Wallach's Music City, the complete department store of music in Tower Plaza Mall. And you say, hey, man, you sit there and you talk about Wallach's and you talk about it and you talk about it. How can you believe so much in a store like that you say is so great? I say this, if you ain't ever been there, you would say that. But if you've been there, you would have no question in your mind about what a great store Wallach's Music City is, and that they have everything we talk about. Pianos, organs, instruments, service. Oh, my goodness gracious. One thing that I really like, though, about Music City, and I know you do, or you will if you haven't made it down there yet, that's the listening booths. They're free, you know, and there are plenty of them, so you don't have to wait around forever while somebody sits in there and listens to a record. This way now, if you're in doubt about an album, you don't have to spring for the cash unless you're sure of what's on it. You don't have to go ahead and buy it, you know, until you've heard. You go into a listening booth, give it a spin, and then you make up your mind. And hey, by the way, did you know that they've often got live disc jockeys at the store spinning records, playing requests and all like that? Here's a chance to meet your favorite disc jockey. Or maybe if he's not there, you'll find me. What do you say? Which is not a bad way to spend some time. You browse around through Arizona's #1 selection of albums, singles, tapes, and accessories. And while you do that, you have a chance to gas with some of America's top radio personalities. I say America's. The copy said Arizona's, but some of America's great radio personalities are here in Phoenix, and they're right here on KRUX. Get down there soon, though, seriously. As if you didn't know, Wallach's Music City is in Tower Plaza Mall. That's at 39th Street entrance off East Thomas Road. And I say again, if you haven't been there, go, because you'll get turned on by Wallach's Music City, who brings you the first hour of One More Time every week. Now, hard rock means something different today than it did a few years back. A few years back, it meant a lot of guitars and singing about some girl or some place or something like that. And one of the all-time masters when it comes to loud, noisy music that we really danced and turned on to, Mr. Freddie Cannon. It's good to hear some of those songs again, isn't it? That's the first hour tonight of One More Time, babe. Yesterday's Heavyweights, Part 1. Parts 2 and 3 will be in weeks upcoming, but we've got another hour of One More Time. Yesterday's Heavyweights, Part 1, and it's coming up right now, presented by the 4 Smitty's Big Town stores all over the Phoenix area. One More Time is an exclusive presentation of the KRUX of Phoenix, KRUX, here in Glendale. And I'm Rich Robbins. And if you can make a Dagwood sandwich in 30 seconds, go right ahead, man, because here's our intermission for you to go and do whatever you feel you have to do right now. boy, you fix a good Dagwood sandwich in 30 seconds. I once knew a girl in Minneapolis who could do that. She'd run to the kitchen in 30 seconds, man, and bing back a plate full of food. But I somehow or another get the idea that it was fixed in advance. The second hour of One More Time, as I told you a minute ago, is presented tonight by the 4 Smitty's Big Town stores all over the Phoenix area. And we are going to talk about the 4 Smitty's Big Town stores this hour and tell you some things that are going to amaze you. Let me tell you for sure. Now, we talk about Elvis Presley as being a yesterday's heavyweight. The reason I say that is because back when he was in his prime as far as pop music is concerned, when he was in his prime, it was in the late 50s and in the early 60s. That's when the million sellers came right after the other. And one of those million sellers for Elvis Presley way back then was this one, man, and nobody could forget it. I want you, I need you, and I love you. Hold me close, hold me tight. Oh, I want you, I need you, I love you, all my heart. One more time, Elvis Presley here on the KRUX, and one more time on a Sunday night. And this is going to break your mind, man. Jimmy Rogers. And I wish there wasn't something wrong with this love of ours. It didn't have to be done secretly. One more time.
Why must I meet you in a secret rendezvous?
You dig that? That is one of my absolute all-time favorites, Jimmy Rogers, and it's too bad we have to be in love secretly. Jimmy, one of yesterday's heavyweights, and the song Secretly, One More Time on Sunday night. So here we are in the second half of One More Time, and it kind of makes me wonder how many of you dear hearts have made the trip to your nearest Smitty's Big Town. There are sponsors for this next hour, as I told you. Now, if you've been to one of the Smitty's Big Town stores,